And you might have to have some whipping going on here where Tom Emmer, as the nominee, he is the whip, needs to make sure that he has the votes lined up. I mean, if you're the whip, you're supposed to be able to count the votes right on a vote on the floor. And, sometimes that's been an Achilles heel for Republicans lately.
Yeah, you know who did it well? Boy, she could count votes, Nancy Pelosi. And Republicans watch that from across the aisle with awe and frustration sometimes.
That was Fox News ghoul Harris Faulkner, reminding Americans that when Speaker Nancy Pelosi had the exact same margins as House Republicans do now, Democrats still managed to pass some of the biggest and most impactful legislation in modern history. The Republicans? Not so much. And for once, Harris Faulkner was right, which must have been a terrifying new feeling for her. But just a few hours after announcing that Minnesota Congressman Tom Emmer would be the GOP's Speaker nominee, Emmer dropped out of the race, once again leaving Republicans without any Speaker candidate after more than 3 weeks. They can't blame Democrats for that mess. A growing number of Republican lawmakers are realizing that the MAGA movement has made their jobs functionally impossible. The far-right House Freedom Caucus is unified against any candidate that receives the support of former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and that means nobody on either side has enough votes to actually become Speaker of the House.
Do you think anyone can get to 217?
I have no idea.
Meanwhile, work is piling up for a House of Representatives that seems to be on permanent vacation. Republicans have taken only 3 public votes to elect a new Speaker, and all of those were taken in the last week. We're also now more than halfway through the short-term funding bill that keeps the federal government open. A closed House guarantees a federal shutdown on November 17th, and that's no joke for the economy. The situation has become so bad that even Kevin McCarthy, the former Republican leader, had nothing but fire to throw at his colleagues for so publicly failing the American people. And McCarthy seemed absolutely exhausted by a weekend spent losing fights against his new personal enemy, Matt Gaetz.
We've been 3 weeks without a speaker. We let 8 people work with every single Democrat to put us in here to go directly against what our conference rules say, that if you do a motion to vacate, you have to have 50% of the conference. And so now we're in a situation where remove the speaker, remove the majority leader from being speaker, remove Jim Jordan from being speaker, every single person that's won. And now we've just gone through a battle with elections of 9 people, 1-1. And now when we had a roll call vote, you couldn't get 217.
Kevin McCarthy is so over this, and you can just tell by how defeated he sounds. And there's good reason to expect the GOP's losing streak will continue into next week, because after Emmer dropped out, these idiots managed to find one of the few Republicans the Freedom Caucus likes less, Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson. And no, Mike Johnson isn't just some fake name Republicans made up. He's a real, actual person. But with just 97 votes from the Republican caucus, he's also the Speaker candidate with the lowest level of support yet. That practically guarantees Johnson will be out of this race with lightning speed. But at least one congressman has a solution to the House's leadership vacuum, and he's proposing a speaker known for his unblemished legacy of uniting people from all political parties. Just kidding. It's Donald Trump.
If we go to the floor, you know what I'm doing. I mean, let's make no mistake. I'll be nominating Donald J. Trump.
So you will definitely not vote for Mr. Emmer on the floor?
I will be going. I told Tom Emmer I won't be the one that would tank him, right? If he can get to 216, he could probably have me at 217. But when it gets to my name and there's 10, 12, 15, I think Donald Trump is their answer.
At this point, it's looking increasingly like Congress will spend more than a month trying to find a new speaker, offering the American people a public testament to the GOP's inability to lead, even when they have majority control. Mike Johnson is about to learn a tough lesson about just how deep the GOP's incompetence runs. With no one to lead them and the caucus descending into chaos, Kevin McCarthy has also proposed his own solution. Kevin thinks you should be voting for Kevin.
There is now a push being floated by former Speaker McCarthy to be reinstalled as Speaker McCarthy alongside Jim Jordan as the assistant speaker. 2 points to make here, and I do hear your laughter. 2 points to make here. The first is one source who was... I can't even continue with you. Let me finish. One source who was briefed on this idea.
Yeah, as you can see, things are going great for Republicans when they're floating a McCarthy-Jordan co-speakership. Somehow I just don't see that ending real well. In fact, that may be the first time in history where two speakers try to vote each other out of their jobs. Republicans' political circus shows no sign of slowing down, and markets are growing increasingly nervous that this dysfunction could soon start hurting the American economy. Republicans are about to pay a serious price for their failure to lead, and we'll see that impact long before voters head to the polls next year. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you liked that, check out this video.
That's best president of the United States.
All right, that's Donald Trump with his mugshot, right? It says never surrender.
Never surrender.
Okay, that is a picture of him surrendering to Georgia authorities, though, right?
And as always, leave a comment below to let me know if you like the new longer format of these videos, and also to tell me what you think I should cover next.